It's maybe the oldest, most debated question in all of human history, right? Books have been written, songs have been sung, entire industries have been built trying to crack this one code. But what if the answer isn't in poetry, but in data? Today, we are putting the poetry aside. We're going to take an evidence-based, kind of unsentimental look at what the research actually says women want in a partner.
So I think most of us assume the answer is just some simple checklist. You know the one. He's got to be tall, funny, kind, ambitious, just this fixed list of traits that a guy either has or he doesn't. But what if that's not really how it works at all?
Yeah, according to the data, that whole checklist idea is not even close. You got to think about it less like a shopping list and more like you're making a high-stakes investment decision. You're trying to make the absolute best choice you can, but with really limited information, right? You're weighing all the potential pros and cons, trying to manage risk. It's much more like economics than a fairy tale.
And this right here is the single most important idea we're going to talk about. The dating market isn't one big thing. It's actually two totally separate worlds, and they each have their own set of rules. And the biggest difference? The timeline. Are we talking about something short-term, or are we talking about a long-term partnership?
So on one hand, you've got what the research calls the erotic context. This is the world of passion, of chemistry, of short-term attraction. The goal here is basically excitement. But on the other side, you have the commitment context. This is the world of building a stable future together. And here, the goal totally shifts to security and compatibility. And you want to know the real catch? The exact same qualities that make you a star in one world could be a massive red flag in the other.
Okay, so this basically maps out the whole mental journey. It all kicks off with that first impression, that initial filter. But right after that, almost unconsciously, the brain asks a super important question. What is the goal here? Is this for right now, or is this for the long run? And that one decision acts like a switch on a railway track, sending your entire evaluation process down one of two very, very different paths.
All right, so let's go down that first track, the short-term erotic world. You can think of this as dating on fast forward, where those snap judgments mean absolutely everything.
In this world, physical attractiveness is pretty much king. Now, the key term here is gatekeeper. In situations where you have almost no information, like, say, swiping on a dating app, attractiveness is often the #1 factor that determines if there's any interest at all. It's the ticket you need just to get through the door. Without it, nothing else really matters.
And once you're past that gate, other things that are easy to spot really fast become super important. We're talking about things like confidence, social charm, how well you can flirt. Certain physical cues, like a deeper voice or a fit body, also play a much bigger role here. And even things like resources or money get viewed through this lens, not as a sign of long-term stability, but more as a signal of an exciting lifestyle right now.
Okay, now let's switch tracks and go to that other world, where the entire calculation just flips on its head. This is the long-term commitment context. And here, the decision isn't just about tonight. It's a major, major investment in the future.
And this quote just captures that shift perfectly. See, attractiveness doesn't just disappear. It's still a part of the mix, but its power gets diluted. It's now being weighed against what the research calls safe characteristics. And all of a sudden, that exciting but maybe unreliable partner starts to look like a really risky bet.
So what are these safe characteristics? Well, they're all about answering one fundamental question. Is this person going to make my life better and more stable, or are they going to make it more chaotic and costly? So you're looking at things like reliability and kindness. Can I count on you? You're looking for emotional stability. Can you handle stress without creating a bunch of drama? And really critically, you're looking for shared values and partnership potential. Are we even trying to build the same future?
So where do we see these two worlds collide in the most dramatic way possible? Right there, on your phone. The modern online dating scene is a perfect real-world laboratory for everything we've just been talking about.
And it is so crucial to understand that these apps are not neutral platforms. Their whole design, the swipe mechanic, the endless stream of choices, the photo-first layout, it's all built for that short-term world. It structurally reinforces the power of that initial, attractiveness-based filter, which makes it incredibly hard for any of those deeper, long-term qualities to even get a chance to be seen.
So, knowing that's the reality, what actually works? Well, the data is super clear. You have to reduce uncertainty. A great profile delivers clear information, and it delivers it fast. That means a clear, well-lit shot of your face, maybe some photos that hint at your lifestyle and your interests, and just a generally well-groomed appearance. The key is to avoid ambiguity. And why is that? Because in a world of quick swipes, a profile that's confusing, too many group photos, blurry pictures, it just feels like a risk. It kind of signals you might be hiding something, and that makes it way too easy for someone to just swipe left and move on.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. We've looked at the two different worlds of dating, and we've seen how modern tech kind of tilts the playing field. This next slide is going to put it all into one simple, evidence-based summary.
And this table really lays out all the trade-offs beautifully. Just look at how the value of each one of these trades completely changes depending on the context. Attractiveness goes from being this all-powerful gatekeeper to just one important piece of a much bigger puzzle. Reliability, which is absolutely central to long-term success, is almost impossible to even see in a short-term context. And even something like confidence gets reinterpreted. Short-term, it's exciting, but long-term, it needs to signal real confidence, not just a big ego. As you can see, it all comes down to the context.
Which brings us to one last, big, thought-provoking question. If what we want changes so dramatically based on our goal, well, maybe the ultimate search isn't for a perfect person who checks all the boxes. Maybe, just maybe, what we're really looking for is the right partnership for the kind of life we actually want to build. Definitely something to think about.